Here's a quick overview of the cockpit of my race bike for Breck Epic. A few things that are super cool about this, for those of you that are interested in kind of the modern technology, I suppose. Specialized Epic 9 expert level. First thing we have is the shifters here on the right side of my handlebar, and that's going to be an electronic shifting mechanism that'll change my gears moment to moment. The next thing is the pedaling system here. So my shoes clip into this. This pedal actually speaks to or communicates with my computer here. So that'll give me power output, second to second. This computer also gives me tons of data. My heart rate, direction, it's got maps on it, it's got elevation changes, helps me navigate, time during, lap, normalized power, so all sorts of data here that I can look at during the event. On the left side here, I've got my little thumb control for my dropper post, so that will adjust the height of my saddle during the event, which means when I'm riding on flat terrain or climbing that it's in the upright position, and then I can kind of drop it down with my butt being on it into lower positions, especially when I'm descending. So going down a hill, I want to get the saddle out of my way so I can kind of like balance over the top of it. And the last cool thing with this is my suspension. So it has 3 positions: the lock position, which locks out my suspension. So I've got front fork suspension here, and then a suspension on the back end here. When I change from locked to pedal, which I'll be pedaling a lot, it kind of will give me some dampening here. So it kind of puts the suspension in like a halfway position. So there'll be some flex in the front end and back end. And then if I'm really kind of like flying down a hill, or if it's a super bumpy section of the trail, I'll put it to open. And that gives me like the most flex or travel, what we'll say like 120 mil travel front and back end. So it'll be open when it's really rough and rowdy and on descents, pedaling for a lot of the time, which will give me some dampening without it being too bouncy. And then if I'm on a pretty flat or smoother part of a trail or a gravel road, for example, I'll have it locked out and then it's just a rigid bike. So moment to moment, shifting, adjusting the saddle, adjusting the suspension, and collecting my data, looking at my data moment to moment, mostly the heart rate, just kind of see how deep I'm digging. But this is the race bike. As an alternative to the A bike, which I'll be racing hopefully the entire event, hopefully there's no damage to it that puts me out of commission or puts the bike out of commission, or either one of us out of commission. But I do have a plan B bike. This is a Santa Cruz 5010. It is 6 years old now. Comparatively speaking, this weighs 32 pounds. That weighs 25 pounds. This is a beast, super heavy comparatively speaking. Older technology, the shocks is a lot heavier. Unlike my Specialized, there are no really fancy controls up here for the shock. It does have a dropper post, like most mountain bikes will do these days, so that's helpful. My shifting, instead of it being electronic, is cable shifting, so it's far more clicky, and I'm relying on a cable to kind of adjust the derailleur, unlike this one, which is just purely electronic and quick and easy. So it's cool to have a backup bike. Again, it's a tank, it's heavier. I wouldn't even say it's more durable. It's just a heavier machine. I do have power pedals on it like I do on my other bike. And of course I put my computer up here for, kind of like the dashboard reading moment to moment. I really hope that I don't have to use this bike. I did race this bike last year at the Epic, and yeah, there is certainly a weight penalty to it, which is tough when you're climbing 30,000 plus feet over the course of 6 days. So it's there if I need it. Great plan B bike. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully the A bike, the Specialized, survives and gets me through the full 6 days. So I'm going to bring both. Hopefully I don't need this one, and I'll just stick with the Specialized.